Alright, here's one that happened to me, but I never tell it cause it's very unexplainable and people always just say I'm lying or was high or something. Be me, living with my then girlfriend in a tiny little place above this old couple's garage. The fact that it's on the second story comes up later, sitting on couch watching TV with girlfriend. Don't remember what we were watching or doing before that. I realize now, looking back on it, that I was in a kind of mental haze. Like when you're in a dream and you don't question how you got where you are. You just go along with it like your brain is in compliance mode. My girlfriend starts asking me questions, but the whole time she's looking forward in the TV with a really serious annoyed look on her face. It's really weird cause she is an airhead and is never serious or angry about anything. I don't remember all the questions, but some were pretty random like, "What's your name?" It's Anon. I'm your boyfriend. Remember, we live together?" I kept trying to laugh awkwardly to lighten the mood. She's like, "Your full name, what is it?" I tell her and she keeps going on like that. Really weird questions. "Have you ever broken your bones? How many? Do they ever break by themselves? Lol with .jpg. Can you see well in the dark? What do you use your eyes for?" For some reason, I just kept answering, like I can't really explain it. But I just didn't think to question her. Not like I was scared of her, but more like when you feel too awkward to not go along with the situation. Like when somebody mumbles something and you say what? Then they mumble again and eventually you just say, "Yeah," cause it's too awkward to ask them to repeat themselves again. Some of the questions didn't make sense at all, or were grammatically incorrect and made them sound like she was speaking English as a second language or was reading them off a page or something. She's English, by the way. Shit starts getting weirder and or borderline unintelligible at times. Do you sink in the waves? The ocean's waves. Do you sink in them? With cat's claws? Can you cat's claws? Do you love sound? Eventually I get up and say, "I'm gonna go get some more chips from the kitchen. You want anything?" She keeps looking forward and goes, "No, sit." I look at the kitchen. It's normally really close. Remember, this is a shitty little apartment, and everything is about 5 steps away from everything else. It looks like the kitchen is about 5 miles away. The kitchen light is on, but it looks dark, like the lights are really dim and the bulbs are about to explode or something. The whole path from the couch to the kitchen looks really dark and scary, and elongated, like how your hallway looked when you were a kid, who was afraid of the dark and you had to go pee at night. I'm suddenly terrified by the idea of going all the way to the kitchen alone, and I just sit back down next to her. She keeps asking questions. Eventually she starts asking about my dad, and seems pretty interested about him. "Does your dad love? Is he a holy man?" I'm like, "My dad's not a priest. You know that. He's a lawyer." She just keeps going. "Is he a fisher?" "No, sweetie, he's a lawyer. Remember, is he a fisher of man?" After this she starts asking questions faster without a pause in between, so I can't even answer if I wanted to. The whole time she's just staring at the TV, looking more and more annoyed. "Do you move from here? Do you eat fish? Is your hand on fire? Does fire hurt you?" As I'm sitting there, wondering what the fuck I do now, there's a knock at the door. I'm so fucking relieved. I just want this conversation to be over and I'm starting to feel a bit more lucid. I'm starting to wonder what's going on with her. I go answer the door. I pull open the door and my friend is there. "Hey Anon, ready to go?" The moment I see my friend, the fog is completely lifted and I'm completely aware of where I am and how fucking strange this conversation has been so far. My friend was coming over to pick me up to go to the pool hall and have some beers, because my GF was spending the night at her parents' house out of town. I take a few steps back to look around the corner at the TV and couch, and to my surprise, my GF is gone. I start walking towards the couch. My friend's just standing there like, "Bro, what the fuck?" I'm standing there looking at the couch like I'm expected to see her hiding behind it or something. The TV is off. Faint movement outside window that's near the couch catches my attention. I put my face against the glass and look down. Can't see shit cause the lamp is on and it's dark outside, so I'm just looking at my own pale fucking face. Turn off lamp. Look out again. Look down at garden. Nothing. Notice more movement higher up. At eye level. I looked down at first, because we're on the second story, so I was instinctively looking for something on the ground level. I noticed something floating across the street, almost already at the trees. I live across from a little wooded area, not an actual forest or anything. Think more like Central Park in New York. Just a little bit of bushes and trees to help the city breathe. But it does eventually fade into a few open fields and eventually an actual forest. I can see a figure floating into the tree line. It looks like a silhouette of a thin but wiry, muscular sort of man. He's got no wings or anything. He's just floating away. He might have had more features, but it's twilight, and the light's pretty faded at this point, so it's pretty hard to see him in great detail. Though sometimes a shaft of light from between the trees hits him and he looks like he's crimson colored. The blood red color mixed with the muscles make him look like someone who's been flayed alive. The worst part was that he was holding a woman by the hair, in his right hand. She was dangling there like a dead body, dressed like my GF, or whatever the fuck was sitting next to me. The woman's body is turned towards me, mouth is agape, and the expression on the face looks like somebody who's been getting their fingernails pulled off for the past few days. At first I think she has huge black eyes. My face, when she actually has no eyes at all. That's when I notice the body looks sort of flat. Closest thing I can compare it to is like a hyper-realistic blow-up doll that's been deflated. I didn't realize it at first. I only saw it for like 2-3 seconds. But now looking back on it, I think it honestly looked like a fucking human suit. I try not to think about it too much cause it really makes me anxious. But I really feel like that floating thing was wearing her like a suit, and when it was done it just carried her away, holding her the way you'd hold a jacket when it gets too hot and you have to take it off. The logistics never made sense to me, because there's no way the thing could have fit inside a body as small as my girlfriend's, although that whole sequence of events was so murky that I could have been sitting next to an elephant, and maybe I thought it was my girlfriend. I called my GF like 5 minutes later and she was completely fine. Nothing happened to her the whole time she was with her parents. My friend didn't see anything, but he seems like he actually believes some parts of my story, just because of how scared he said I looked after I pulled my face away from the window. Everybody just says I was high or something, but I don't do drugs, never have. And I hadn't had any alcohol that night since I was waiting for my friend to arrive and we were gonna go out and drink.